Hi guys, my name is Harry. I'm a high time frame trader and I've been for 3 years now. Someone who actively manages their money. And today I'm going to do a video on one of my favorite indicators. So yeah, I've got the monthly pivot here and I've got ES. So the reason I love pivot points really is just because it's one of those indicators where you click the button and it's there. So if we go back to last month, as you can see, if you were to buy here on this reclaim, you would have caught a really nice trend. And if you were to add maybe a shorter term moving average, you really could have got a nice entry there. So that's one of the reasons I love it as well. Another reason is that, R1, you can compound there as well. So you can add a bit of money, you can add a bit of size. And that's something that I like to do. And I'm long on the NASDAQ and it's been working really well. One thing you will get, as you can see, if we go back to this month, you will get some chop. So with any trending system, you're going to get some chop. A trending system to have, usually I would say above 50 to 60% win rate is pretty rare. You're probably looking more of that 30, 40% maybe. So yeah, that's one thing to know if you are going to consider this. One thing I like about it as well is nothing good happens below it. So being above the month pivot, you know that we have a chance of being bullish. If we go back to March, as you can see, we were at a bit of an extreme there. So we go back to March here. We're in extreme. So very rarely, especially on ES and the NASDAQ, it goes below S2 and above R2. So once that happens, you know that, okay, cool, this is maybe not going to keep happening. So for example, we very rarely get 2 months above 2R. It happens on Bitcoin, it happens on gold. I'm not too sure if it happens on stocks from the research I've done in my spare time. But as you can see here on stocks, massively oversold level from this metric, and what you would want to wait for is maybe levels like there to be reclaimed and okay, cool, maybe we'll get some bullish structure going. You can also use weeklies, yearlies and quarterlies. They're big levels as well, but I think the monthly works really well, especially on the daily. I think the yearly and quarterly is slightly too slow. The weekly is good for maybe like a 1 hour or a 4 hour, but I really think the daily and the monthly works really well. For me, I've not really tested it out on shorts, but I've tested it out on longs, and it seems to work really well. So if we go back to June, one thing that does happen though is, as you can see, there was no reclaim here. So there was nothing this month. As you can see, the monthly pivot was there. If we go to next month, bang, you've actually opened above it. Now, usually when you do open above it, that means the month has more of a chance of being bullish. So what I would suggest is, if you're in this situation, if let's say like me, you really look for that reclaim. If you open just above, go long, stop loss there. That's something that I've been adding into what I've been doing as well, and that works well because you haven't got that fear of missing out, which obviously does happen in markets, because as you can see, this was just such a big move on ES, as we can see there. Another good thing about these as well is what you can do is you can actually enter on R1 and you can actually put your stop loss below. It's not going to work every time, as you can see there, it didn't, but get a nice reclaim here. But yeah, you will get chop, but look, you can see it holds there and away it goes. But yeah, for me, really good indicator, definitely one to use. I know it's quite an old indicator that people use. I think people in the pit use the daily pivot, if they're doing like a minute, trades and so on. That's not something I do. I'm a part-time trader, so I specialize in high time frame stuff. But yeah, really like the monthly pivot. Definitely something worth checking out if you're struggling. For me, I hate, fib retracements and, things that you have to draw. It's not really something I like to do. I like to click a button and the indicator to appear like this and like a EMA. So yeah, definitely something worth checking out in your trading. And yeah, thanks for watching.